One of the many multiverses of DC is being ravaged by zombie-like monsters, and now Darkseid has been consumed by the anti-life equation madness. The story of DCeased began when Cyborg was mixed with the anti-life equation, giving it a way to infest people with a virus that would consume them and turn them zombie-like. After the heroes lost Earth, they left the planet only to return when they received a call claiming that there was in fact a cure. They came back, and they cured Superman and Big Barda. But while they were celebrating, we discovered the equation had made its way to Darkseid and consumed him and all of New Genesis and the New Gods. This is Comicstorian, where I read your comic books back to you dramatically as an audio drama. This allows you to keep up with the current storylines, knowing what to add to your collection or what to get next to continue the storyline. And today's video is brought to you by one of our sponsors, Shortboxed. If you click the link down below, you'll be able to enter a contest to win a copy of DCeased #1 that has been CGC graded, a perfect addition to your collection. Just click the link down below. Alright guys, let's get into DCeased War of the Undead Gods, Chapter 2. It's been 5 years. 5 long years that Big Barda lost after being infected by the anti-life virus. She was the first to be cured by the virus, and the first thing that she could think of doing was seeing her son, Jacob. She asks if he's grown, and her husband Scott tells her that he has, but he's still their boy. Barda worries that he might be angry at her for being gone for so long, but Scott says that the boy can be angrier at him. He was avoiding being a parent because of his guilt. At least for her, the excuse was that she was in fact dead. Barda laughs, telling him that he's right. Her excuse is so much better. As the two travel to New Genesis through the boom tube, hoping to see paradise, what they find is that the celestial city has fallen. Barda begins to panic, worrying about what could have happened to Jacob, and then she notices another boom tube. But this one is red and darker. She reaches her hand in, determined to find her son, but suddenly a voice yells for her to stop, and she finds herself tackled to the ground. Scott runs over to help Barda up, but Black Racer stands up, telling him, "She is a god. She will heal." Scott asks, what is that thing? What the hell happened here? And the Black Racer tells him that Darkseid happened. The unliving Darkseid struck. All that weren't killed are now the agents of the anti-life, and the mother boxes have been infected with the anti-life virus as the New Gods have been. Now only the dead and the unliving can pass through the doom tubes. Barda asks, where do the doom tubes go? Where is the unliving Darkseid? Meanwhile, we see the first planet that the undead gods struck, and it was Kurragar, home of 7 billion people. Kurragar is the former home of Sinestro, the current home of Natu, and the home of highly trained soldiers all wielding advanced weaponry. But they were nothing in the face of deities controlled by the anti-life. Not long after the invasion, a distress was sent out across Kurragar's entire space sector, and it reached Warworld. And at Warworld's heart sat Kurragar's most famous citizen, Thal Sinestro. While Sinestro rallied his Yellow Lanterns back on Earth 2, an unlikely alliance began to form in a destroyed spacecraft. Guy Gardner says that they can't seriously be thinking about working with Brainiac of all people. You guys know that he destroyed a whole lot of planets, right? As someone who regularly puts his foot in his mouth, even I think that's a bad idea, Superman tells him. You know that he's right here, right? And? Should I be worried about hurting the feelings of a planet-killing supervillain? Half-functioning Brainiac then says that he understands their hesitation and their distrust. But I can offer to show you this on good faith. Superman takes the small capsule from his hands as Guy is asking him what is it, and Superman tells him that it is the last surviving city of Krypton. It is Kandor. Batman asks why is he willing to give that up, and Brainiac simply says that he collects knowledge. If the universe dies, knowledge dies with it. Despite the considerable power at my disposal, unliving Darkseid tore me in half. I barely escaped the attack, and unless we halt them, the undead gods will spread the anti-life equation across the stars. The universe will end. Meanwhile, just outside of Kurragar's orbit, Sinestro uses the full force of his lanterns alongside his Warworld to fire down on his homeworld to defend it. The collective blast is shielded by the attack. He looks down as Sinestro sees a bright green shield, and behind it, his daughter, Soranik Natu, and her husband, Kyle Rayner. Soranik asks what is he doing, and Sinestro tells her, "It is not what you think. I am not attacking our homeworld. You must get out of my way." Then something that neither the Yellow nor the Green Lanterns could have possibly expected arrives: a Kryptonian. The Unliving Supergirl didn't stop to fight the Lanterns, though. The anti-life equation had a larger threat in its sights. The techno-organic virus attached and infected the largest, most destructive computer in the galaxy. It took control of Warworld. Warworld began to fire upon its own Yellow Lanterns, and while those Lanterns are being slaughtered, another more dangerous threat approached. Darkseid flew closer, with Sinestro telling Soranik not to hold anything back. "We have to destroy him!" For a moment, all was equilibrium. The gods' eye-beams versus the will and fear of a father and daughter. But then that equilibrium was broken by the Kryptonian. She came slamming in, disrupting everything, and using that to his advantage, Darkseid grabbed Sinestro by the head as he screamed for Soranik to escape. But before he could finish, his head was ripped off of his body. Soranik was ready to fight after seeing her father literally ripped apart, but Kyle told her that they can't do this alone. "We have to go!" The two of them fled, and all that was left was the destruction of the Yellow Lanterns. But among that destruction was the headless body of Sinestro, whose ring began to scan for a suitable sentient replacement. Darkseid took that ring, and it told him that he has the ability to instill great fear. As it attached itself to the unliving Darkseid, he responds, "Yes, everything fears the end of life." DCeased, War of the Undead Gods, issue number 2. It's a short one today, but I hope you enjoyed it. Later this week, we're going to be covering DC versus Vampires, and we're going to be covering more Dark Crisis along with some Spider-Man, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can get first dibs on it when those notifications go out, if they ever do. Who knows anymore? But if you want this channel to survive, I need your help. All I need you to do is go down into the comments below and let me know what you enjoyed about the video. Or just be like, "Hey, Benny, I watched it, and it was fun." Your likes and comments are what are going to keep this channel alive, and apparently right now at YouTube, if I don't have those, we're going to fall into nothingness. We're gonna fall into obscurity, a void of comic book knowledge lost forever. But either way, all joking aside, seriously guys, thank you for your continued support, and I really could use those comments and likes. I'll see you next time.